So for starters, I want to talk about the biggest book that I pick up, and I mean literally the biggest book. Hello everybody, welcome back into Jar's Toy Emporium. My name is Jacob and it is another new comic book Wednesday. Now, as we do nowadays, we are heading to work, but we have a few things to talk about because last week's comics were fantastic. And the one I want to spend a little bit of time on this morning on our way to work is that Absolute Batman Arkham special. Boy, did I pick the right reading pick of the week, because it had everything you could really want in a special comic, right? It had characters we don't really know about. It had story that we needed to know for the future. It built up the world even more, and then it gave us a great idea of what's to come. So if you haven't read it, here's a few spoiler warning for you. You guys can skip ahead a little bit in the video. But guys, we got to see really the origin. I wouldn't necessarily say the full origin, because we still have some questions about it. But we got to see a lot more origin of the Joker, which is just so exciting. Not something I was expecting, as you guys heard in the vlog last week. I kind of got hinted at that while I was in the comic shop a little bit, and it had me even more stoked for what was to come. So the fact that it was actually true, it actually was more backstory for the Joker, absolutely insane. And then we got an idea of the next few arcs potentially that we're going to see Batman up against. Now, obviously we know that Poison Ivy is coming. That stuff has been released and leaked, and I don't necessarily say leaked because they kind of just told us. But obviously we still have one more issue to get through with Wonder Woman. We're still trying to figure out the Killer Croc situation. But the fact that we know we're getting Poison Ivy, and then they name dropped a few other, like Man-Bat got released into Gotham. We know that there's a Deathstroke, which just, man, the ideas and theories that I have seen about Deathstroke are so good. I'm so excited for that. But we know Scarecrow is coming. I mean, Hugo Strange was mentioned. Just some great name drops. And we had that little name drop a few issues back of Robin as well. So we know Robin's in the Absolute Universe. When is he going to come about? When is Batman going to need the extra manpower? I don't know. I feel like it's coming up soon. So yeah, the Absolute Batman Arkham special, it just absolutely delivered. And I just love it. Every issue I read of Absolute Batman, or whether it's an annual or a special, it just gets even better to me. So I'm stoked for what's coming today. I know we have some DCKO stuff, which I heard was fantastic. I'm not sure. I think maybe we have the last issue of Ultimate Black Panther. I think that might be today. So there's some good stuff, but it's going to be hard to live up to that Absolute Batman Arkham special. But nonetheless, I am excited. Like I said, we are on our way to work. Let's have a good day, guys. Let's get through this day, have some fun, and let's read some new comics. Our LCS, I will be seeing you later. I don't even know if you guys can see it, but it's right there. It's a little gloomy here in Jacksonville today, I will say. It's a little different than last week's nice, sunny, warm weather. It's starting to get a little cold, so don't like it. Well, we did not beat the rain into work. Alrighty guys, it is about that time. We are taking our early lunch to go get our comic books. And we have arrived. Alrighty guys, we just got our comic books. We are heading back to work, and it's a pretty solid week, I gotta say. Not as crazy as last week's. Last week's was insane with, I think we had 3 Absolute titles. Did we have an Ultimate title last week? I don't remember off the top of my head, but last week's was just crazy. So excited for this week's. We got some DCKO stuff, which is probably the highlight for me. We do have an Ultimates issue, which is very cool. But yeah, I'm pumped. I can't wait to read some of these comic books. But first, before I head back from lunch, I need to go get some lunch. And there's actually a cool little restaurant at my office. So I'm going to grab some food there, and then we're going to hammer out the rest of this day so we can get home and read some comics. Alrighty guys, it is the best time of the day. We are heading home from work right now. It is a little past 5. So we're going to head home. We have all of our new comic book day pickups to talk about, and I'm pretty stoked because there's some good ones. I did see a little bit of a leak of something that's got me even more excited, which I feel like I've been saying that the last couple weeks. I keep getting stuff like minorly leaked for me that like gets me even more stoked. So they're like leaks that suck to get leaked, but they're also like exciting leaks. So let's head home though. Let's talk about these books, and I think we have some good reads for the night. Alrighty guys, we have made it back into the studio. We are off from work. Now let's talk about some of the awesome comic books that we picked up today. So for starters, I want to talk about the biggest book that I pick up, and I mean literally the biggest book. We have the Battle of the Century, Superman versus the Amazing Spider-Man. I thought this was really cool. I'm excited for the upcoming Superman and Spider-Man collaboration that we have going on, and this is just neat. It's a pretty oversized comic, and when I buy oversized comics, I kind of think of them in one of two ways. The first way is I always think about how good they would look up on the wall. Usually I try to think of them in like almost like a poster. Like, this looks so cool. How often are you going to have something like this? Like, these are cool, right? And even the back of it's cool if I wanted to display it like that. The other way I look at these books, though, is I almost think of them as like a table book. So, you know, like when you have a coffee table and you just have stuff sitting on it, when people come over, they can pick it up and flip through it. I kind of thought of like this like that. So I thought that was kind of neat. As you guys can flip through it, you can see it is just like some excerpts, or maybe it's the full stories from some of these older Superman, Spider-Man runs, but it looks really, really cool. So this was a must pick up, and for only 20 bucks, I didn't feel like that was a bad deal for something like this. So that was the first thing that we picked up. Very, very cool. I think it's just literally just Superman versus the Amazing Spider-Man, but still very neat and very cool to have. The oversized comics are actually kind of surprising me. I've seen some of these do pretty well in the aftermarket, and in particular, Absolute Batman is something that comes to mind, because the Absolute Batman oversized WIP thing that they did, I've seen that thing going for like 125, 150 bucks, which is just insane. So I don't expect this to do that, but I still think it's a pretty cool item to have. All right, now let's actually get into the comics that we got. And the first one, DCKO issue number 3. This has been such a fun event. This is the first event I've ever been a part of as a comic book reader and collector. It is definitely probably not good to have my first event be this good, because I feel like everything else after this is going to be trying to live up to these expectations, and Scott Snyder just has it going right now. So DCKO issue number 3, this is the book I was telling you guys about that I saw a little bit of a spoiler about, but I'm not going to say anything about it because I think it's really cool, and I'm very excited to read it for myself. So DCKO issue number 3, the first book that we picked up, and then the only other DC book this week, we picked up Aquaman issue number 13, because this is a DCKO tie-in, I am trying to pick up all of those. I've really been enjoying the DCKO stuff. I think there's only one DCKO tie-in book that I don't have the cover A of, and it's because I forgot to buy it, and when I went back to the store, they were out of the cover A, so I still need to pick it up. It was like the second DCKO. It was like one of the prelude to the DCKO stuff. So been super excited to have all of these. Very excited to continue to read these. I don't know which order I'm supposed to read these in, so I might have to look that up. If you guys go on leagueofcomics.com, you can actually see the DCKO reading order. So I highly recommend you do that if you are interested in reading the DCKO stuff. So next up, kind of heavy with the indie books this week, but we will save those for last. We have one Marvel book, The Ultimates, issue number 20. You guys know how awesome the Ultimates has been, and the fact that this whole universe is kind of coming to an end is so sad. I did see, though, that there is going to be an Ultimate Finale issue. It's going to be called literally the Ultimate Finale issue number 1. So kind of wrap up the universe and probably give us an idea of what's to come in the future and where these characters are heading. So I think that's cool. Very excited to read this. Lots of Nick Fury on the cover, so that's always pretty interesting. But yeah, the Ultimates issue number 20. Next up, let's head into some of these indie books. Let's go with IDW real quick because we only have one book. TMNT issue number 14. This is the second issue with Jean Wang on it and Freddie Williams on the art. Very cool cover. Really dig this cover. Maybe my cover of the week. Yeah, super cool. So really been enjoying the Turtles run. If you guys haven't read Jason Aaron's version of this before, I think he did up through issue 12. Highly recommend that. And then this has also been off to a very good start. So recommend picking up issue 13 and 14. If you were a little skeptical on it, it has been pretty good so far. Last couple of books we have, Image, G.I. Joe, The Dreadnought War. Is this part 5 of 5? Yeah, the culmination of the Dreadnought War. This has been a lot of fun. So very excited to wrap up this series. And I just love the G.I. Joe universe stuff. I feel like we've got to be getting to a point where we're going to see everything come together, kind of like what we're seeing with DCKO, and they're kind of incorporating all of the universes. I'd love to see Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Void Rivals all get together for like a cool new issue of something. I don't know what they'd call it. Maybe the Void Joe Transformers. It's terrible. That's why I'm not writing the books. But yeah, I would love to see that happen. So hopefully that's happening soon, especially with the Dreadnought War wrapping up. And then our last book of the week, Transformers issue number 28. And I know I said that the TMNT cover was my favorite. This DNA cover is so good. Like, very, very cool. DNA is so good. David Nakayama kills it on these covers, and Dan Mora has been fantastic on the art. Robert Kirkman written now that Daniel Warren Johnson has stepped away from the run, but no, this has been super good. So yeah, some pretty solid books this week. My pick of the week, I'm going to go with DCKO just because I'm so high on the DC stuff right now, and I heard that issue was really, really good, but super good with Transformers, G.I. Joe, TMNT, really can't complain, so very, very excited for all the books we got this week. Now, that is going to do it for today's new Comic Book Wednesday vlog. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn that notification bell on so you never miss another episode. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.